Hey, what is up, guys? It is your boy, Kingdom Soldier. Say hi, Evan.
Hi, Ellen.
And his son, Evan. And I'm back again with another commentary. This is going to be questions from Twitter. I'm going to get through this, I promise. Alright. So the way I do questions from Twitter is that I ask you guys some questions. I tweet out that I'm going to answer some questions, and you guys respond with whatever you want. And I'm going to try to answer, I think, 6 of the questions I got. I got a lot. Within probably about 30 minutes, I got like 30 questions. So I picked 6 or 7 of them that I'm going to answer, and I never prepare these answers. I always do it off the top of my head. So this is just off the top of my head. The first question is from at JACrog23, and he says, do you think Parasite will leave FaZe for a team that will appreciate him? Thanks again. I do. And nothing against Parasite. Well, I guess maybe I can't say that, but he's really stubborn. That is evident. You know, when we had Sharp on, he mentioned that he knew Parasite was stubborn. Everybody in the community basically is stepping up and saying they know Parasite's stubborn. And even FaZe Apathy, you know, somebody called him the TP of FaZe. Like, I think it was Dito, or no, it wasn't Dito. Somebody on, maybe it was Nameless, I don't remember. They said that Apathy was just like TP. He was just that cool, calm, collective, never said much. And even Apathy stepping up and saying that Parasite's just being stubborn. And so I think his stubbornness is going to prevent him and Censor from kind of squashing their beef. And Parasite's even throwing out tweets like, I'll play with somebody else at Nashville if Doug is going to be this stubborn. And when you have 2 stubborn guys like that on the same team, just can't work. Only one can be the captain. You know, that's just the reality. And so we'll see. We'll see how it goes down. I think if you go back and watch the video when they first joined, I mentioned that Parasite and Censor were going to be an issue. It might have been on a Sticks episode. I mentioned that Parasite and Censor were going to be an issue because they both like calling shots and saying what to do. And I thought it might be difficult for them to get along. So it looks like that is the case. So the next question is from at Lewis T. Hawkins. And he says, Optic Gaming have never beat Nation on LAN. Which team do you think is better? This is a really hard question. On paper, Optic Gaming is a better team. Just in general, like well, I guess I can't even say that. You know, with Call of Duty Ghost, on Call of Duty Ghost, Optic Nation is a better team. But if I had to choose one of those 2 rosters going into Advanced Warfare, I would choose Optic Gaming. I just think the potential of Clayster on Advanced Warfare playing Hardpoint, Nade Shot, Scumpy is going to be ridiculous. And Proofy, I think, is going to be better at Advanced Warfare than he is at Call of Duty Ghost. Call of Duty Ghost, it almost eliminates roles, and it's just who's the best with the few little weapons we use, mostly Vector, a little bit of Remington, and I think it's eliminated the position that Proofy would play well. And I think Advanced Warfare is going to be more role related. It's not going to be people just running around. The meta is so ridiculous on that game that I know that Proofy is going to be able to specialize in something. Clayster is going to be able to specialize in something. Nade may be the player on their team that does whatever, does all kinds of stuff. You know, does the flanks and rocks a varied amount of different classes, and then you're going to have Scumpy who's going to be a Slayer. And so I think I'd pick Optic Gaming going into that game. But on this game, Optic Nation they're a better team. They've proven it, you know. So the next question comes from at Z-Man Mac. He says, if you had the choice to own a top 8 team, which team would it be and why? Well, if it was just about money, Optic Gaming. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Like, if that was my motivation, was to own, if it was a financial decision as an owner, I would say Optic Gaming. I mean, financially, that's the best decision, sponsorship-wise and everything like that. If it wasn't a financial decision, Probably Envious. I would want someone like Merc to be the captain of my team. And I'd probably bring Rambo back onto the roster. And I wouldn't really care. I think Rambo's a great player, and I'm not saying that the team would lose, but even if they did not win as much, you know, it's just like when Optic was losing a lot, you know, and getting 5th place and 4th place and 12th place. And it's like the sponsorships are still going to roll in because people still are going to watch more of Envious and more of Optic than they're going to watch of FaZe or EG. And that's just the way that, you know, things roll in Call of Duty competitive esports, is that Envy and Optic have a one-up, and then FaZe is right behind them because FaZe is the most subscribed. You know, they have more subscribers than those two channels combined on YouTube, and so their competitive team is still growing in popularity. But I think that for me, I would want to own. Oh, thank you, buddy. For me, I would want to own probably Envious or Optic. I mean, Envy just because I really like Merc as a player. I like what Envy stands for. I think I would have similar kind of values as Foreplay and working with, or as Foreplay and Hastro, and working with either one of those guys would be great. So if I could be, you know, the third owner of Envious, that would be pretty tight. This comes from @Adam_Corey. He says, what was your favorite moment in Black Ops 2 Comp COD and Ghost Comp COD? My favorite moment in Ghost Comp COD hasn't happened, and that is when the last event is over. Enough said. My favorite moment in Black Ops 2, oh, that's rough. When Optic came back and won Express Hardpoint against Complexity at the first event of Black Ops 2, I will admit, I knew we had a winning game on our hands at that moment. Like, that was just watching that last hardpoint, and it was bananas. And Optic was actually not getting the favorable spawn. And they were running in, and that was a great moment. And when Karma dropped, you know, 21 kills or whatever without dying, that was pretty ridiculous as well. As far as favorite moments goes, I wish that we would have played that game for another year because it was amazing. But yeah, that first event, UMG Chicago, when Optic came back, that was such an exciting moment, and I knew it at that moment, like, oh, this game is going to be great. I mean, with the, you know, it was just great. And so this comes from Beto with a whole bunch of T's. What do you think about the Censor and Parasite issue? Well, we kind of already talked about that. So I just think both of them are being stubborn. I think one of them has to become the bigger man and bow and kind of step back. And I think at this point that has to be Parasite. He's just kind of gone a little farther on Twitter with exposing more and calling and just basically complaining about Censor, you know, a lot. And so I just think those two guys need to figure it out. And then I think this is the last question. It says, this is from @nextgen_juvie. Why are you such an amazing person? Well, I don't know what you mean by amazing, but if you mean that I'm inspirational, I inspire you in some way, or I motivate you in some way, and that I have pretty clean content, I'm pretty understanding, forgiving, patient, all that kind of stuff. If that's what you mean, to be honest, it's, you know, for those of you guys who don't know what I do for a living, I'm a youth minister and a young adult minister. I work at a church, and I take my relationship with God pretty seriously. It's more than just religion to me, like going to church on Sundays and doing what I do for a living. But I also, you know, I read my Bible and I pray, and I try to live like the Bible tells me to live. And even when it comes to Call of Duty esports and how I treat you guys as my subscribers, and how I treat people that work with me, how I treat my producer for the sticks, how I treat those that are in my inner circle, you know, and how I reach out to the little guy, that's all kind of motivated by my relationship with God. And so, you know, not to sound cliche or anything, but I'm just being real. If you think I'm an amazing person, I know a more amazing person. And knowing him has helped me to be who I am. And I wasn't always like this. I'll tell you guys that story if you ever want to hear it. I was a pretty bad kid in California. I actually moved out of California because I had to. If you guys want to hear my true story, my Hollywood story on Kingdom Soldier, I could do that at one time. Nevertheless, this is your boy Kingdom Soldier, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.